Hello, everyone. Welcome. I hope you're having a powerful week thus far and an amazing day. You are actually tuned in to this week's Shine with Tia video blog. I'm so excited. And by the way, if you're not a part of the Shine community, all you have to do is log onto the website at tiabrewer.com and click the button Shine, and then you'll be a part of our Shine community because we want to make sure you don't miss out on anything. All right. So, all month long, I've been talking about identifying your mission. And I like to call our mission your special assignment. So that's what I've been talking about all week, or I should say all month long. And if you go back and check out the newsletter, I actually gave tip number one in the newsletter, and that focused on the first step in recognizing your gifts. And people say, how do I recognize my gifts? Okay, you got to read the newsletter in order to get caught up on what I talked about, in that very first tip of recognizing your gifts. Talk to God. That's going to be number one with recognizing your gifts. And after you're done in prayer, then I want you to take a gifts test. Don't stress out about where do I go to take a gifts test? Where do I find that? What does that look like? Don't stress at all. you have to do is just join me at Ignite Her. My upcoming signature conference is coming up this fall. Ignite Her Mission, Marketing, and Money Conference for business minded women of faith. Mark your calendar. That's September 25th and the 26th. I'm actually going to be teaching and training a small core group of women, of about 50 women. And part of what we're going to focus on is the gifts test, and the one that I specifically use. So don't stress. I will make sure that you understand where, the gifts test that I use for both myself and all of my amazing clients. So, okay, don't stress. But check out the newsletter for all the information where I talked about tip number one. All right, so in this week's video tip, I want to talk about, as it relates to identifying your mission, I want to talk about um, how to identify your mission. And this is the next tip on identifying your mission or special assignment. I would suggest that you recognize the difference between your natural gifts and your supernatural gifts. Okay, so recognizing and identifying the difference between your natural gifts and your supernatural gifts. Now, your natural gifts, just like what it says, it's something that comes naturally to you. It's typically things that you're born with. It's through genetics. So if mom has a great voice and can sing, very likely somewhere between you or your siblings, you'll also have that same natural ability. Or if your dad, he can just, I mean, he's just amazing in the kitchen. You could very well likely have some type of culinary natural skill set. So some is innate, you're born with it, it's through your bloodline, and then being brought up around it, that also helps to impact your natural skill set and ability. That's on the natural side. Okay, so singing, dancing, cooking, organizing, those types of things, those are just wonderful and amazing natural skill sets and abilities, right? But then there's the supernatural skill sets and abilities. And you need to be able to identify and know the difference between the two, because I believe you first need to understand what the supernatural is. We live our entire lives understanding the natural, but we need to start to identify the supernatural. And the supernatural, you can't just force that upon yourself. You only are graced with the supernatural when you're born again. So Christian believers, they have supernatural gifts and ability. So it is given to you when you're a born again, blood washed believer. And some of the supernatural, gifts that you may possibly have, maybe the gift of prophecy, the gift of mercy, or the gift of serving, the gift of exhortation. And those are some amazing sets of gifts. And I don't even want to break down all the list of things because I don't want to give away next week's set of tips, but there are different components to your gifts. There's the three layers, I like to call it, to your gifts. So I'm just focusing on layer one of your gifts, but recognizing that you have supernatural gifts and abilities. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't get confused. I'm here. I've got your back. I'm going to help you start to identify what that is, because it's only when you start to recognize what Daddy put in you, that's when you have true, incredible breakthrough and success. That's when you have amazing clarity and confidence and the boldness. And that's when you'll be in a place where you're starting to flow with grace and ease. So in this week's video tip, understanding and recognizing the difference between your natural gifts and your supernatural gifts. I'd love to hear your comments and your feedback. Share with me what you know your natural gifts and abilities are. If you have questions about Tia, I don't really know what my supernatural gifts are, ask me. All you have to do is just leave your comments below, and me and my team will respond right back because we're here with you and I've got your back. All right, so don't forget, mark your calendar for the Igniter Conference coming up September 25th through the 26th. And of course, you'll be seeing some more great information about it, but don't sleep on it because I'm only going to be working with 50 women during that 2-day experience live with me. So I'm very excited about it. And stay tuned for next week's video tip because I'm going to dive into the 3 layers of your gifting. Because again, this entire month is about identifying your mission or special assignment. All right. I can't wait to connect with you soon. Until then, shine bright. I'm Tia.